On January 21st, The Legend of Zelda Windwaker HD remake was announced for the Wii U, and I couldn't have been more happy with the decision from Nintendo. I imagine it probably went over something like this.
Look guys, we need some Zelda games, and Wii U Jeopardy isn't quite saving us like we thought. Things are not looking too good in the future.
My first memory with The Legend of Zelda was just a blockbuster game I rented on a whim, Ocarina of Time, and I hadn't gotten past the second dungeon without having to return it. Fast forward a couple years and I had saved up money for a new Nintendo GameCube. It was beautiful. It was so square. It was so perfect. Everything was proportional, and the games were smaller. Blew my mind! I mean, finally, a console of my own. I can remember collecting spare quarters and doing favors for neighbors just to save up for it, and that was back when it was $150. Of course, after I'd bought it, they went down to $100, which would have been cool if I had waited a month. And with it, I decided to revisit the franchise I had returned to Blockbuster years ago.
Can you feel the nostalgia?
So back to this year. I popped in Windwaker for that same GameCube to relive the Great Sea, and something hit me. The atmosphere, the gameplay, the music, the art. It was so current. It was as if this game hadn't aged at all.
Look at those curves!
That's when I realized this game didn't need a remake. In fact, if any Zelda game didn't need a remake, it was Wind Waker! Zelda is a loved IP, by most including myself, so I won't let this opinion go without justification. Let's break this down. As we know, the GameCube was limited, at least in comparison to the PS2 and Xbox 180?
The old one!
But Nintendo made it work. They made it work good. Get over here, you little piece of meat. The point to the graphical style of the game wasn't just to change it up, it wasn't directed towards little children as most thought immediately. It went so far beyond that. The idea was to give a stunning representation of this universe without intense detail. Emotions were easy to read, they were cartoonish, which allowed for us to be able to understand emotions portrayed.
Grandma, I'm gonna get out of the back, Grandma! I promise you, I'm gonna worry about this!
What did you just say to me? There was no moments of...
What the hell is this thing?
It was all...
Oh, this is a Korok, I guess. Oh, this is a bird. Person. Hey, look, it's a...
No! Return to base! I'm sorry, Fox! I gotta go in for repairs! Christ!
The point I'm trying to make is that the art style was to kind of lower the bar, but perfect it. It's like you could either paint something simple, but perfectly, or you could try to be a regular Michelangelo and paint this piece of shit. Look at the way Link is in this shot. Everything is great, and there are no flaws to his design due to the simpler art style.
Do you hear what I'm saying? I'm alright!
This Zelda already doesn't have much detail, but looks beautiful regardless. It's already crisp. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say a better game for a remake would have been Majora's Mask, or even Twilight Princess. Hell,
I wouldn't even take an Ocarina of Time, and you just remade that last year for the 3XXXS NES!
the reason I say Twilight Princess is because there's a lot of detail in that game, and it looks great on a smaller TV, but when things are a little more zoomed, everything starts to look kinda pixely. It could have used the retouching an HD remake would have been able to provide. Personally, I would have liked a Majora's Mask remake, because, like everyone else on the internet, I favor that one. And it's become a huge cult classic in the Zelda franchise for its innovation and focus on atmosphere. Something,
If done right,
could be absolutely breathtaking in HD.
it's like they understood art styles!
They were ahead of their time! They took one look at the then-gen graphics and said, oh, yeah, I guess that's cute. I can make things look shiny and shit. Oh, but what's here in my pocket?
BAM! Wind Waker!
The term graphics isn't just relative to how good something looks or how detailed it is. It's more about the emotion and beauty behind it. The art. El Greco and Francisco Goya are huge Spanish artists who have art that is truly lifelike and filled with tons of detail. But who are the most well-known Spanish artists? Picasso and Dali. Cubes and clocks!
But the emotion behind them is what mattered!
The message, the images, the feels. not how complicated or lifelike it was. And Nintendo understood this. They were masters at it. Miyamoto did the exact same thing when developing Yoshi's Island. Another down point is that the Wind Waker HD collection isn't adding too much content. You can change the speed of your boat and changing the wind goes much faster, but those are all nitpicks to me.
The game is still delicious!
However, I would have liked to have seen the dungeons that didn't quite make the cut, although they were reused in other games. I just want to see the real game changes if this game were to be re-released. Take Resident Evil Remake for example. There's tons extra in story, objectives, scenery in comparison to the original. Most notably, the graphic style got a massive overhaul, which was a bigger jump than we see in Wind Waker. It's a quick caveat, but I feel like this is how to do a remake. And these decisions kinda hit me hard. Yeah, Wind Waker is an amazing game, and trust me, I'm super glad a new generation is going to be able to go through the adventure. Will I get the HD remake of Wind Waker? Yes, I'm definitely planning to, because maybe there's some new stuff that hasn't been thought of. And the opportunity to listen to remastered tracks by Koji Kondo for Wind Waker, kind of a deal maker for me. It's not that this remake is going to be bad, in fact it sounds pretty awesome, and the biggest spike in Zelda title sales was after Wind Waker for Twilight Princess, so it's possible there's a giant group of people who have never bothered with this Great Sea installment, so it's a sound business strategy too. But could they have gone a different route? Yeah, in my opinion, they could have. That's all I have to say about this matter though, and I hope it's got you thinking. Anyway, as usual, my wondrous fans, may your thumbs stay blistered, and may your games play like new. Thanks for watching.